Can you explain the different subsectors in healthcare, so that the audience can understand?
Perfect. So there are 5 pockets of healthcare.
Really?
Yes, 5.
Okay.
In fact, there are 6. So there is others which has other pockets.
Okay.
But let's go for the first 5 primary ones. So there is generics, unbranded generics. That is your Sun, Cipla, Lupin, Cadila. They all fall in this bucket. And then I explain this. Then there are branded generics. This is where you have your Torrent, Mankind, Emcure. These guys are here. Then you have your hospitals, your diagnostics, and then you have your API and CDMO companies. These are raw material manufacturers.
And
for
all
healthcare.
of these types are publicly listed companies also?
They're all 5 publicly listed companies. They're all publicly listed.
And these are just categories?
Yeah, these are categories.
Wow.
And then there is a 6th. The 6th is your healthcare insurance, medical devices, medical device components, and ancillary industries.
And totally how many companies are there in this entire universe?
So if you take all listed stocks, there would be around 390, 395 companies.
Wow. So 390 publicly listed companies in the healthcare sector.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are there any other, just a quick deviation, are there any other industries which are so well placed in terms of macro growth like healthcare in India?
So I think lenders, so we come to NBFCs and MFIs when we discuss that. I think they are very well poised.
Okay.
I don't think people look at NBFC, MFIs in the right way.
Okay.
The way you think of it is RBI as the manufacturer of the currency. You think as private banks as wholesalers, and you think of NBFCs and MFIs as retailers of the currency.
Okay.
When you think of it in that fashion, you should sense the fact that Indian households today, have enough scope for leverage. Balance sheet repair in Indian households have happened since COVID, right? So in COVID, we saved up a lot of money, we delevered, and now the gold and silver prices going up. That is helping delevering, the Indian households. So the Indian households will again go through a credit upcycle. When they do, the retailers make the most amount of money because of the last mile.
Yeah.
And that's what the NBFCs and MFIs are.
Okay.
So I would say akin to healthcare, the only other industry, but this industry is a lot cyclical compared to healthcare, which is very, very secular.
Okay.
The only other industry which is maybe secular and as well positioned as healthcare is probably education.
Education. Interesting.
Because in India, education is not an option. It has somehow become an option outside India where parents are okay if the kids don't study. Indian households are still that, the papa ka chhadi and the mamma ka dant if you don't study. So I think that is...
But education, there is no publicly listed companies.
Exactly.
I think right now...
that is where the problem is. So we have a physics wala probably.
Who have recently
come up with an IPO.
Nobody has been able to create a big whale of this industry.
A big whale of this industry, number one, and we don't have enough stocks to create a portfolio of it.
Correct.
Right? You can take a 1 or 2 stock call, but you can't really have a portfolio. So if you look at the secularity of healthcare, only education can give you. But
when you mean secularity, it doesn't go up and down that much.
Exactly.
It's like a linear up.
It's like a linear up. The industry is like a linear up, right? And MFI, NBFC is cyclical, but they are right now at the bottom of a cycle.
Okay.
So for the next 3-4 years, even this pocket will give you very good returns. So will healthcare, so will education, but we don't have enough stocks in education.
So coming back to healthcare.
Healthcare now.
Okay. So now within healthcare, you mentioned these 5 different subsectors.
Yeah.
Now, out of these 5 subsectors, which are the fastest growing subsectors in healthcare?
Yeah. So today, the fastest growing sector in healthcare is hospitals.
Which one?
Hospitals.
Hospitals.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, why hospitals? 2-3 data points. So India today has 0.8 beds per 1,000 population.
Okay.
0.8 beds per 1,000 population. For convenience sake, let's say 8 beds per 10,000 population.
Okay.
The global average is 27 beds per 10,000 population.
Wow. We're 3 times lesser.
We are 3 times lesser, number one. Number two, the developed markets of South Korea, Singapore, they have 120 to 130 beds per 10,000 population.
Wow.
So the global average of 27 comes because you have Northern Africa there, which has close to no beds.
Right.
So that pulls down the global average.
Right.
So if you move the underdeveloped economies out of this equation, the number isn't really 27, it's more like 57, 58, and we are at 8.
Wow.
So the gap.
Wow.
So what that means, Sharan, is that tomorrow, if all hospital chains in India, including government hospitals, were to pentuple their capacity overnight,
pentuple means 5 times.
5x, we would still be underpenetrated because that will take us from 8 to 40. Whereas the global average, excluding the underdeveloped markets, is close to 58, 57 beds.
And you're saying a developed market like South Korea has
120
plus, 120 beds per 1,000.
Per 10,000.
That's the healthy number?
Per 10,000 patients.
Okay.
1,000 patients, 12. Per 10,000 patients, 120.
Okay.
That's a healthy number.
Okay.
And that South Korea is a very interesting example. I don't know if you know this about South Korea. 47% of the adults in South Korea above 25 years of age have had cosmetological surgeries.
Right. The cosmetic market is very big there.
So they have 3 cities. Like we have Kota here in India, which is dedicated to engineering studies. They have 3 cities in South Korea dedicated to cosmetology surgeries.
Which is basically like plastic surgery kind
Plastic
of stuff.
surgeries.
Got it.
Yes. So, and again, South Korea is
That's a big market there.
It's a huge market. And again, South Korea is at $50,000 per capita GDP. So brings me back to the point that as you
they're
get
at
richer,
$50,000
per capita.
So it's
per
a
capita.
super developed country.
Super developed
Very
country.
so close to US.
So US is 80. These guys are 50. But that brings me back to my point that if you have more money, as you get more money, you find means and ways to spend it on yourself. Now that may be for a slimmer nose or a prettier eyeline and whatnot, but you spend it on yourself.
Right.
Because
So there is
you
no
just have
limit
it.
to spending on healthcare.
Absolutely.
The richer and richer you get, the more money you'll spend
More
on
money
yourself.
you spend. Absolutely. So that is why
Because there is a
healthcare
limitation how much food you can put in your body.
Exactly.
Limitation to how many clothes you can put. But there's no limit to how much money you can invest in your health.
in your health, right? So sports people like let's say Ronaldo or singers like let's say Madonna, they've insured parts of their body for millions of dollars.
Correct.
They pay insurance premiums.
Correct.
Ronaldo pays a crazy insurance premium for his kicking leg, I think the left leg.
Right.
And Madonna pays for her butt and so on and so forth. I mean, they and some singer has a voice insurance. I think Taylor Swift has a voice insurance.
Right.
So, you find ways to spend on yourself when you have enough money. And so if the argument for investing in India today is that we will be big tomorrow, then the sector which will be much, much, much bigger compared to what it is today is healthcare. So the fastest growing pocket is healthcare.
Hospitals.
That was hospitals. That was your question. And I think hospitals, even if the capacity pentuples or quintuples, we still have a lot of scope for growth because we are just so underpenetrated.
Right.
And we in India today, people still believe in traditional medication. You have people, looking at Ayurveda, Homeopathy as a first line.
So the raw material for growing hospitals is doctors. Right. You need more and more doctors.
Yes.
But India is not producing enough doctors. Is that the problem?
That is true. So if you speak to an Apollo hospital today, they're the largest chain in India. They have, I think, 15,000 beds today in India. And if you speak to them, why are you at 15,000 beds? Why are you not at 50,000 beds? You're a 40-year-old company, for God's sake. Right? So you had enough time to expand.
They can just get debt and capex and build more hospitals.
Build more hospital, right?
Right.
They would say, I have no problem of capital. I have no problem of catchment area. I have no problem of demand. My only problem is talent. I do not have enough nurses and doctors. Because in India, nurses and doctors, once they're educated, they go out of India because they get higher salaries.
Why can't they pay higher? Why can't Indian hospitals pay good salaries to our doctors?
Because the patients aren't willing to pay the cost. It has to be borne by the patient.
But hospital bills are expensive only, no?
See, that's exactly my point. Look at the entire ecosystem. So there is a doctor, there is a hospital, which is an entrepreneurial setup, and then there is a patient who's a consumer.
Okay.
Right? Now, the consumer says, I'm paying very high bills.
For example, when I go to a clinic in Mumbai right now for 5 minutes, 10 minutes consultation, 2,000 rupees.
Fair.
Which is expensive.
I take your point. But hear me out. Consumer says, I'm paying horribly high prices. Doctors say we are not getting paid enough. And so if this is true and this is true, then the hospital must be making a chunk load of money, right?
Correct.
He's charging you and he's not paying the doctor.
Correct.
He must be paying a chunk load of money. How do you determine if a business is making a chunk load of money? ROE, return on equity?
Correct.
Any company or a business with, let's say, more than 30-40% ROE is a supernormally profitable business.
Agreed.
No hospital in India makes more than 25% ROE.
Okay.
Apollo as a hospital chain makes 17% ROE. Are they supernormal? And our cost of capital is how much? 15%?
Right.
That's the cost of equity?
Yeah.
So if cost of equity is 15% and on an average hospitals in India make 17-18% ROE, how are they supernormally profitable?
So what is happening? Where is the issue?
No, the issue is that Indians are poor.
Okay.
The issue is we are not rich enough.
Got it.
Right?
So we need to be willing to pay
pull
more.
up the income. We need to pull up the income. See, talent is going to be fungible, right? You train a doctor here, that doctor can go and practice in 40 countries where today Indian medical education is enough. You don't need to do anything once you land there. All you need to do is start practicing and you will make 4x, 5x the income that you're making in India. The doctor has no incentive of sticking to India. Same for the nurse. Once she's trained, she can just move out to Dubai or a Singapore or a London and make 5, 6, 7x. So why does she stay back in India? Right?
So how do we solve this problem? Because if this remains a problem, there will be huge migration of doctor talent.
Exactly. So one thing which has happened is the government insurance. So we have Ayushman Bharat scheme in India. Now Ayushman Bharat scheme basically is saying that if you are someone with weaker economic sections of the society, you can take the government card, you can go to a hospital, the hospital will treat you and the government pays the hospital directly. You don't have to pay anything.
Right.
So that's a step in the right direction, although that's not the right solution for this point. The simple reason being that Ayushman Bharat rates are too low. So most hospitals don't want to treat Ayushman Bharat patients as a priority.
Because they don't make money from it.
They're not making money out of it.
Government is also paying less.
Government is also paying less. So end of the day, healthcare insurance has to grow.
Correct.
So most of the countries in the world, Sharan, it is the healthcare insurance that protects the local population from getting bankrupt because of healthcare.
But not enough people are taking insurance.
Not enough people are voluntarily taking it. Thankfully, our country has laws where an employer with more than certain number of employees has to mandatorily provide health insurance to their employees. So thankfully, we have the organized sector sort of taken care of because of the government law. But the private insurance or the voluntary insurance, very few people are going for it.
Which is needed. Which is needed.
But one good thing which happened here is that the government just made it GST free.
Right.
So earlier you were paying 18% GST on your insurance premiums.
Right.
And now it is 0%. So thankfully it has suddenly gotten more affordable.
Correct.
So I'm hoping that this will lead to better insurance penetration.
Right.
Which would probably reflect to more affordability of healthcare.
Right.
But to say that hospitals make a chunk load of money and the patients get looted, I think that's very, very unfair.
I mean, that's how it looks.
That's how it appears to us.
Because you see the big hospitals, itna paisa kharch ho raha hai.
Yeah, but if you look at their financial statements, it's like 17-18% ROE.
So the only way to fix this is for hospitals to increase prices.
Yes.
And patients have taken good insurance to bear with those prices.
Yes.
Which increases more salaries for doctors. And the whole ecosystem survives.
Then survives. That's correct.
So why can't India get to a point where we have free healthcare, like in Europe?
Oh, no, we can. But, our fiscal deficit doesn't allow us. So look, what happens in Europe? When they collect taxes, they use that taxes to provide you free insurance. And that insurance basically enables healthcare for all.
Yeah, because see, there the costs are high.
Absolutely, significantly higher.
But people don't really care about it too much. Because they're like, yes, there is waiting period. I don't deny with that.
Yes.
But it's free at the end of the day. Free. And doctors are well compensated over there. They're well respected over there. And they make a lot of money.
Yes.
So that can't happen here?
It can happen. But we have to get richer as a country. Because look, our current government's budget, look at what we are allocating the budget to. We are allocating it to defense. We are allocating it to education, to water, clean energy. I think those things are far more important at this stage for us compared to, let's say, healthcare for all situation, right? So I think that day will come. But for that, first we need to get our other priorities sorted. Again, the taxes need to go up. As you know, 1 or 2% of our population files for taxes. Less than 1% actually pays tax. So these numbers need to go up.
Correct.
And the government exchequer needs to be full enough. I'm sure it is a priority for them. Because, there's no point defending a population which will otherwise die. Right? So if you're spending on defense, you have to think of healthcare as well.
Right.
Because end of the day, it's about the longevity of your population.
Correct.
Right? Both of them are about the longevity of your population.
Glad you made it till here. If this gave you even one idea to improve your finances, send it to a friend. Helping them might just make you the smartest person in their group chat. And don't miss the full episode on Finance with Sharan. There's a lot more where this came from.